Hi, everyone. I'm back again with a question from Diana Alexander Consulting LLC. And it may seem like a trick question today, but I'm serious about it. Would you rather be a leader or serve under a leader who's humble or who's haughty? I'm sure you think, well, of course, we probably want humble over haughty. But in today's world, people think a little bit differently about the kind of leader that they want to follow. I remember being told once that I was too kind and that a particular job that I was going into was not going to be the job for me because people in that particular department and in that position needed to really just give it to folks. And I probably in my career fired more people than most people would ever believe possible. What they didn't know was that I was able to do that with humility. I didn't do it by lording it over people. I didn't have to demean them, and I didn't have to get mad and yell and scream at them. I think sometimes people who have to get mad to fire folks, it's because they use their anger to fuel their courage. And as long as I knew I was in the right and I had the facts, I could go in and quietly speak with someone and tell them, these were the expectations. These are what we did to help you out, the resources we provided, the interventions that we did on your behalf, the talks that we had. And now, having done all that, there has not been adequate improvement. In fact, we're at the point where now we need to let you go. And so this conference is about that. I was able to talk with people about that and not have to raise my voice, not have to make faces, not have to act haughty, not have to act like I'm the boss and I said so. I didn't have to do any of that. And half the time I had people thanking me, appreciating the fact that they had an opportunity to work for me, knowing I had done everything I could to help them out. Now, there were those exceptions where people kind of tried to cut up on me, and I knew how to handle it when I had to, but I still didn't have to get mean and ugly about it. Because for me, strength comes from within, and there is a quiet confidence that you can have that keeps you humble and makes people respect that. I don't have to be haughty. But there are people today who think that those leaders who are pretty much full of themselves and think they're above everyone else and they got to their position by brute force and strength and, just rolling over everyone else, that those are the kind of leaders they admire. Those are the people they want to be. And I'm sorry to hear that from folks because I still think that humility is a much better way, because humility doesn't mean that I get rolled over. It doesn't mean that I'm a pushover. It doesn't mean that I allow myself to be disrespected in any kind of way and that I'm not able to speak up. It means I can do that with a quiet strength that comes across as a strength and not as a threat, because it's a real strength. It's not phony. It's not threats. It's truth. And so I would hope that if you are the kind of leader who feels like you've got to be haughty, you've got to think you're head and shoulders above the rest, you've got to think that you've got to show a force, your strength in order for people to respect you and do what you said, I would say think again and go the humility route. Because once you know you have the strength and the power to do what needs to be done, then you just do it. You don't have to showcase it. You don't have to prove it. You just have to be it. And that's the kind of leader that I want to work under. That's the kind of leader that I am. And that's the kind of leader that I would love to help you to become. If you have questions, just reply. In the meantime, I'm Diana Alexander, and I'm out.